Well, in an environment like this, it's important to look for sectors that might be somewhat immune or less impacted by a global tariff policy, and also has high elements of operating cash flow. So two sectors that come into question right now under those two guidelines would be, first, large cap technology. And I know the story about how they're a very large percentage of the S&P and their earnings contribution is less than their percentage of market cap of the S&P, as well as that their multiples are elevated relative to the S&P, and as well as everyone talking about the broadening of the stock rally from 7 to 493 stocks. But our view is that the large cap tech stocks have copious amounts of operating cash flow. In the case of, let's say, Amazon and Google, we're looking at $175 billion in the next 12 months. And they have great flexibility to redeploy that cash flow, and they're doing it back into CapEx. Remember, the large hyperscalers of data centers, if you look at the last earnings reports, indicated that their growth was constrained because of capacity. So the build-outs that are occurring are probably very sound and needed and result in elevated earnings down the road. The other sector which I'd look at would be the utility space, which will not be impacted by tariffs, generally speaking, or trade policy. And here you have a long-term secular outcome of the demand for power growing in the U.S., and that is outstripping the potential growth of supply. So there will be, and in many cases there currently is, a shortfall in power generation.
Given what you just said, then do you think that NVIDIA remain a good bet?
Yeah, so, there are certain sectors that we believe will be opportune in the short term and the long term, and those are two that would be qualified candidates for both. There are other sectors that will be opportunistic, but I wouldn't touch them until we get more clarity on trade policy and its impact on the economy. The other thing I'd want to point out is a good indicator of what the markets are actually forecasting would be to look at the 10-year Treasury. And if we see the Treasury slipping down from, it started the week at 430, currently in the 420s. If we see that drop below 4%, maybe towards the 380 mark, we can take that as a signal of the market being more concerned about a slowing economy versus that inflationary push that we spoke about previously.